Hey guys, Kate here. I'm here today to do a book haul slash movie review slash what I have out from the library right now. Okay, so it's been a minute since I've done a book haul. I accumulated a bit of books. Some my friend gave to me. Some I got from the local library, the Little Free Library, and Goodwill, and a couple I got from the Dollar Tree. Okay, on to the books that I got. This one I got from the local Dollar Tree. The Age of Light by Whitney Scherer. This is a historical fiction. I'm just trying to pick them randomly. I got A Dog's Purpose by W. Bruce Cameron. Heartwarming, insightful, and often laugh out loud funny, A Dog's Purpose is not only the emotional story of a dog's many lives, but also a dog's eye commentary on human relationships and the unbreakable bonds between man and man's best friend. This moving and beautifully crafted story teaches us that love never dies, that our true friends are always with us, and that every creature on earth is born with a purpose. Excited to read this one. The other one I got from Dollar Tree. The Upside. I watched this movie a couple months ago, and I wanted to read the book. I got Delicious by Ruth Reich. I read her other book, Garlic and Sapphires, a few months ago, and I want to read more by her. Her writing style is so good. Plus, it included recipes, so I believe this one will too. So I'm excited about that. I got The Midwife Murders by James Patterson and Richard DiLaulo. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but a missing patient is a hospital ward's worst nightmare until even more disappear. To senior midwife Lucy Ruin, I don't think I'm pronouncing the character's last name right, but pregnancy is not a condition, it's her life's work. But when two kidnappings and a vicious stabbing happen on her watch in a university hospital in Manhattan, her focus abruptly changes. Something has to be done, and Lucy is fearless enough to try. Rumors begin to swirl, with blame falling on everyone from the Russian mafia to an underground adoption network. Fierce, single mom Lucy teams up with the skeptical NYPD detective to solve the case. But the truth is far more twisted than Lucy could ever have imagined. I'm really excited to read this one. I got The Eye of the World, which is book 1 in the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. It's an epic fantasy series. Can't wait to read this. And it's fluffy. Put that one there. I got The Magician's Lie by Greer McAllister. Who doesn't love a book about magicians? Will a magician ever reveal her secret, even when her life's at stake? The amazing Arden is the most famous female illusionist of her day, renowned for her incredible trick of sawing a man in half on stage. One night in Waterloo, Iowa, with young policeman Virgil Holt watching from the audience, she swaps her trademark saw for a fire axe. Is it a new version of the illusion, or an all-too-real murder? When Arden's husband is found lifeless beneath the stage later that night, the answer seems clear. But when Virgil happens upon the fleeing magician and takes her into custody, she has a very different story to tell. Even handcuffed and alone, Arden is far from powerless. And what she reveals is as unbelievable as is spellbinding. Over the course of one eerie night, Virgil must decide whether to turn Arden in or set her free, and it will take all he has to see through her smoke and mirrors. So that sounds really exciting. So I also have Raising Dragons by Brian Davis, which is the book 1 in the series. This is a young adult fantasy. A boy learns of his dragon past. A girl has known of hers for years. They combine their faith, courage, and love to overcome an evil slayer who seeks to bring an end to dragon heritage forever. That sounds really exciting. The next one is A Horse Called Hero by Sam Andes, a nonfiction. On the brink of World War II, a family is forced out of their London home and into the country. Wolfie and his older sister Dodo are devastated to leave behind everything that they've ever known, but they slowly settle into their new life. One day they come across an orphan foal, which they raise as Hero, a strong and beautiful horse who lives up to his name when he saves the children from a fire. Wolfie and Dodo find comfort in their new life, but the war is escalating quickly and horses are needed for combat. One night Hero is stolen and the children are shattered. Years go by and there's no sign of Hero returning. It's only when Wolfie becomes a stable hand that he discovers Hero has ended up working in the mines under terrible conditions. Then and there, Wolfie resolves to save Hero, even if it puts his own life in danger. Together, can they survive? I have The Dancing Girls by M.M. Chouinard. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but this is a suspense and it's really good. When Janine Hammond is found dead in a hotel in the picture-perfect town of Oakhurst, newly promoted Detective Joe Foreigner is thrown into a disturbing case. Who would murder the shy, loving wife and leave her body posed like a ballerina? Joe wants to know why Janine's husband is so controlling about money and where Janine's wedding ring is. But before she and her team can get close to the truth, another woman is found strangled in a hotel, arms placed gracefully above her head like a dancer. While digging through old cases files, Joe makes a terrifying link to a series of cold cases. Each victim bears the same strangulation marks. But the FBI won't take Joe seriously, and if she disobeys direct orders by investigating the killings outside of her jurisdiction, it will mean the end of the career she's already sacrificed so much for, even her relationship. Just as Joe is beginning to lose hope, she finds a message on the victims' computers that make her question whether these small-town women were hiding bigger lies. Joe thinks this is a missing link, but she knows the murderer is moments away from selecting his next victim. Will it lead her to the most twisted killer of her career in time, or will another innocent life be lost?
Ouch.
Okay, the next three I'm going to show you. One I got from the Goodwill, and two I got from the Little Free Library. I got Matched, Crossed, and Reached. This is a science fiction dystopian trilogy. Several years ago, I've heard nothing but brilliant things about these, but not so much anymore. But I can't wait to read them. The next is Still Life by Louise Penny. This is honestly the first book in this series. Chief Inspector Armand Gamanche and his team of investigators are called to the scene of a suspicious death in a rural village south of Montreal, and yet a world away. Jane Neal, a local fixture in the tiny hamlet of Three Pines, has been found dead in the woods on Thanksgiving morning. The locals are certain it's a tragic hunting accident and nothing more. But Gamanche smells something foul this holiday season. With this award-winning debut novel, Louise Penny introduces the wise and engaging Armand Gamanche, who commands his forces in this series with integrity, strength, and charm. The next book I'm about to show you, I read this when I was younger. I want to say back in middle school, but it was when Zackary Beaver came to town by Kimberly Willis Holt. Nothing ever happens in Toby's small Texas town. Nothing much, that is, until this summer. This summer, everything seems to be leaving. Toby's mother leaves home to be a country singer. His best friend Cal's older brother goes off to fight in Vietnam. But their sleepy town is about to get a jolt with the arrival of Zackary Beaver. Billed as the fattest boy in the world, there has never been anyone like Zackary. Toby is enthralled with him and his tales of the people and places he's known. In fact, Toby realizes there's a lot this town has never seen. Toby knows there's more to Zackary than the stories he tells. And he wants to know the boy behind the billing. Toby is in for the summer unlike any other, a summer sure to change his life. I really enjoyed this book when I was younger, so I'm excited to see if I still like it now. The next two books I'm about to show you are by the same author. They're both historical fiction books. I got The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris and Silker's Journey. I listened to the audiobooks and I enjoyed them, and I wanted to own the physical copies. I got the third book, The Girls in Pants, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants series by Anne Brashers. I got A Kiss Before the Apocalypse by Thomas E. Sniegoski. Not even sure if I'm pronouncing the last name right of this author. Boston P.I. Remy Chandler has a life any man would envy, with friendship, a job he's good at, and love. But Remy is no ordinary man. He's an angel who chose to renounce heaven and live on earth. So he's able to will himself invisible, hear thoughts and speech, and understand any language of man or beast. Talents that will become invaluable to him when his angelic past returns to haunt him. The angel of death has gone missing, and Remy's former colleagues have come to him for help. But what at first seems to be about tracing a missing person turns out to involve much more. A conspiracy that has as its goal the destruction of the human race. And only Remy Chandler can stop it. Alright. Sounds really good. Can't wait to get to this one. I might read it this month. You'll find out in my wrap up. The next book is A Stranger in the House by Shari Lapina. I love this author's writing style from her book, The Couple Next Door. A very twisty thriller, so I'm excited to read this one, as I love her writing style. Alright, this next book I'm going to show you is a bind-up. The complete novels of Jane Austen. This includes Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, Mansfield Park, Emma, Northanger Abbey, Persuasion, and Lady Susan. It's just pretty, and I cannot wait to read her books. Alright, the next two are by one of my favorite authors. Angel Falls and Comfort and Joy by Cristo and Hannah. I'm definitely planning on reading this one this month, but maybe you'll see in my wrap up. I got this one from the Little Free Library called Malachi by Alan Bernert. This richly imagined novel, set in Hawaii more than a century ago, is an extraordinary epic of a little-known time and place, and a deeply moving testament to the resiliency of the human spirit. Rachel Kalama, a spirited 7-year-old Hawaiian girl, dreams of visiting far-off lands like her father, a merchant seaman. Then one day a rose-colored mark appears on her skin, and those dreams are stolen from her. Taken from her home and family, Rachel is sent to Kalapapa, the quarantine leprosy settlement on the island of Malachi. Here her life is supposed to end, but instead she discovers it is only just the beginning. With a vibrant cast of vividly realized characters, Malachi is a true-to-life chronicle of people who embraced life in the face of death. Such is the warmth, humor, and compassion of this novel that few readers will remain unchanged by Rachel's story. I'm excited about this book. I also got Speaking of Sherry Lapina, I got The Couple Next Door. Love this book. If you have not read it yet, go get this book. It is good. I got Midnight Crossroad by Charlene Harris. Stop at the one traffic light in town and everything looks normal. Stay a while and learn the truth. I'm excited to read this one. I want to say this has vampires in it, so it might be a part of the Blue Blood series? I'm not sure, but I like her writing style. It's really good. If you have not read Dead to Worst by her, it's a good book. You should read that one. I got Could Have Been Us by Corinne Michaels. "15 years ago, I fell for Jack O'Donnell. I was just a girl, but I knew my brother's best friend was the only man I'd ever love. On my 18th birthday, when I asked him to kiss me, I never imagined it would change my life so completely. I gave Jack my heart, but that wasn't all I lost. In order to move on, we had to go our separate ways and pretend like nothing happened, as though it wasn't the greatest night of my life. But even that wasn't as heartbreaking as the secret we were forced to keep. I tried not to think about how much I still love him, how I long to be back in his strong arms, or the way his hazel eyes still make my heart race, until he kisses me again, and this time there's no turning back. This time I know what it means. We belong together, and there's no use denying it any longer. But our feelings aren't the only thing that won't stay buried. Our past resurfaces and threatens to destroy our second chance at happiness. When our love is tested once again, will we be strong enough to stand together?" Also got Stiff, The Curious Lives of Human Cadavers by Mary Roach. I've heard good things about this book and her writing style. Stiff is an oddly compelling, often hilarious exploration of the strange lives of our bodies post-mortem. For 2,000 years, cadavers, some willingly, some unwittingly, have been involved in the science, boldest strides, and weirdest undertakings. In this fascinating account, Mary Roach visits the good deeds of cadavers over the centuries and tells the engrossing story of our bodies when we are no longer with them. Another nonfiction book. I have the Zodiac Legacy by Stan Lee, Stuart Moore, and Andy Tong. I like this cover. Convergence. When 12 magical superpowers are unleashed onto the world, a Chinese-American teenager named Steven will be thrown into the middle of an epic global chase. He'll have to master strange powers, outrun dangerous mercenaries, and unlock the mysteries of the Zodiac. This sounds really, really good. I also got The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas at Goodwill for $1. Dashing young Edmond Dantes has everything. He is engaged to a beautiful woman, is about to become a captain of a ship, and is well liked by almost everyone, but his perfect life is shattered when he is framed by a jealous rival and thrown into a dark prison cell for 14 years. Written in Dumas' oft-imitated style of adventure and suspense, and filled with vivid details of post-Napoleonic France, The Count of Monte Cristo continues to dazzle readers with its thrilling and memorable scenes, including Dante's miraculous escape from the dreadful Chateau d'If, his amazing discovery of a vast hidden treasure, and his transformation into a man whose astonishing thirst for vengeance is as cruel as it is just. Sounds really interesting. I Got Spelled by Betsy Shao. This is a retelling of Wizard of Oz. Fairy Tale Survival Rule number 32. If you find yourself at the mercy of a wicked witch, sing a romantic ballad and wait for your Prince Charming to save the day. Yeah, no thanks. Dorothea is completely princed out. Sure, being the crown princess of Emerald has its perks, like Glinda original ball gowns and Hans Christian Louboutin heels, but a forced marriage to the brooding Prince Cato is not what Dorothea had in mind for her enchanted future. Talk about unhappily ever after. Trying to fix her prince's problems by wishing on a cursed star royally backfires, leaving the kingdom in chaos and her parents stuck in some place called Kansas. Now it's up to Dorothy and her peaked off prince to find the mysterious Wizard of Oz and undo the curse before it releases the wickedest witch of all and spells the end for the world of story. I'm excited to read this one. Just like all the rest, I'm excited to read all of them. I got The Telling by Beverly Lewis, which is the third book of Seasons of Grace. This is a Amish series. I really like her writing style. If you have not read anything by her, go read one of her books, or read all of them. It's good. I got Clammed Up by Barbara Ross, a murder mystery. It's a cozy mystery. Summer has come to Busman Harbor, Maine, and tourists are lining up for a taste of authentic New England seafood, courtesy of the Snowden Family Clam Bake Company. But there's something sinister on the boil this season. A killer has crashed a wedding party, adding mystery to the menu at the worst possible moment. Julia Snowden has returned to her hometown to rescue her family's struggling clam bake business, not to solve crimes. But that was before a catered wedding on picturesque Morrow Island turned into a reception for murder when the best man's corpse is found hanging from the grand staircase in the Snowden family mansion. Julia must put the chowder pot on the back burner and join the search for the killer. And with suspicion falling on her old crush, Chris Durand, the recipe for saving her business and salvaging her love life might be the one and same. You recording? I got Vampire Kisses, the beginning by Ellen Schreiber. Who doesn't love vampires in the books? Paranormal romance? I'm all for it. I got After You by Jojo Moyes. This is the sequel to Me Before You. If you have not read that book, read it. You need a box of tissues with it. It will make you cry. I got the fifth book in the Virginia Mysteries, Midnight at the Haunted Mansion by Stephen K. Smith. Sam, Derek, and Caitlin have encountered many mysteries together, but when they visit Maymont, Richmond's historic estate, danger is lurking at every turn. A chance meeting with a mysterious stranger leads to a frantic chase and a desperate message to save Maymont's bald eagles. When Sam receives an eerie warning in the middle of the night, Derek and Caitlin devise a plan that leads them high into the Blue Ridge Mountains. To save the eagles, the kids must find a secret abandoned palace, survive the wilds of the Appalachian Trail, and avoid capture by criminals, all before midnight. He is a local author, so I'm excited to read this book. This whole series is on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm going to have to read the first 4 books before I read this one, but I do plan on it soon. Not sure how soon, but I will get to it. I got The Unknown by Heather Graham. Someone wants to watch the city burn, Sienna Murray was only 14 when she pulled her neighbors out of a raging house fire. A decade later, she still can't explain what happened that night, how she knew to save them at just the right moment, or why she receives the same mysterious warning when it happens again. New member of the crew of Hunter's elite paranormal team, Detective Ryder Stapleton, doesn't believe in coincidences. So when the suspicious fire he's called to investigate reveals a cryptic link to Sienna, he can't help but think the unassuming museum curator has something to hide, but he soon discovers they have more in common than he ever thought, and a growing attraction neither can deny. If they're going to have a future, Sienna and Ryder need to catch a serial arsonist roaming the shadowy streets of New Orleans before the city burns down around them. I might just have to get to this sooner rather than later, because that just sounds really, really good. I got another Heather Graham book, Seeing Darkness. It's also a part of the same series, Crew of Hunters. Okay. She's being murdered. It was supposed to be a fun girls' weekend in Salem. But when a past life regression session instead sends a terrifying vision of a murder to Kylie Connolly, she's shaken and doesn't know what to think. Worse, later she identifies the attacker from her vision. He's a prominent local politician. Special Agent John Dixon of the FBI's Crew of Hunters is on the trail of a suspected serial killer based on the scantest of clues and unreliable witness testimony. When he realizes Kylie's vision might be his best lead, he must gain her trust and get close enough to guide her new talent. Though she doubts herself, the danger Kylie sees is all too real, and the pair will have to navigate a murderer's twisted passions and deceptions to stop the killer from claiming another victim. Oh, this is so good. Lover Unveiled by J.R. Ward, part of the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. I just know this is not the first book in this series, but I'm excited to read this series. Savage has been living under the radar for centuries, and he has every intention of staying dead and buried. But when a civilian female sucks him into her dangerous battle with an evil as ancient as time, his protective side overrides his common sense. May, who has lost everything and is determined to reverse tragedy, comes face to face with the Brotherhood's new enemy. She also discovers a love she never expected to find with Savage. But there can be no future for them. Knowing they will part, the two band together to fight against what May unknowingly unleashed, as the Brotherhood closes in to reclaim one of their, and the evil vows to destroy them all. This is How I Lied by Heather Goldenkopf. I don't think I pronounced that right, but I'm excited to read this one. This is the synopsis for this one. Everyone has a secret. They'll do anything to hide. 25 years ago, the body of 16-year-old Eve Knox was found in the caves near her home in small-town Grotto, Iowa, discovered by her best friend Maddie and her sister Nola. There were a handful of suspects, but without sufficient evidence, the case ultimately went cold. For decades, Maggie has been haunted by Eve's death and that horrible night. Now a detective in Grotto and 7 months pregnant, she is thrust back into the past with a new piece of evidence surfaces. As Maggie investigates and re-examines the clues, secrets about what really happened begin to emerge. But someone in town knows more than they're letting on, and they'll stop at nothing to keep the truth buried deep. Oh, yeah. Alrighty, 2 more books in this haul. I got Amaryllis by Jane Ann Krantz, written as Jane Castle. There we go. Amaryllis Lark is one of the best psychic detectives on St. Helens. The Earth colony recently cut off from the mother planet, and a place where love still defies the most incredible odds. Lucas Trent, the rugged head of Lodestar Exploration, isn't keen on prim and proper women, and takes no interest in Amaryllis. With her crisp business suit and her cool evaluation of his request to bust a corporate thief. But when a bold hunch leads them from a wild murder investigation, no power on heaven, earth, or St. Helens can keep them apart. Sounds really good. Alrighty. On to the last book of the book haul. I got the first book in the Shopaholic series by Sophie Kinsella. Confessions of a Shopaholic. I love this series. I needed to get this one book. I still got a couple more, but this is just a funny British romantic comedy book. It will make you laugh. It is so good. If you have not read it, go read it now. Okay, on to the books I got from the library, or that I have out from the library now. I got Goldie by Goldie Hawn. A Lotus Grows in the Mud. She is one of my favorite actresses. If you have not watched Overboard, the original, go watch that now. It's so good. It's so funny. I got The Japanese Lover by Isabel Allende. Book club book pick for December. Meeting next week. I got A Long Road to the Circus by Betsy Bird and David Small. Middle grade. I got Mimi Lee Gets a Clue and Mimi Lee Reads Between the Lines by Jennifer J. Chow. Book 1, Book 2. If you guys have seen The Big Bang Theory, this is Raj's book. Yes, My Accent is Real by Kunal Nair. I did not pronounce his last name right, but he is the best character in that show. It's hilarious. But this is his memoir. I got The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. The Silent Companions by Laura Purcell. A Christmas in the Alps by Melody Carlson. The Giver of Stars by Jojo Moyes. The Girl from Venice by Martin Cruz Smith. Estranged, Leaving Family and Finding Home, a memoir by Jessica Berger Gross. The Impossible Knife of Memory by Lori Halls Anderson. She wrote the book Speak. I got Terry Brooks' short fiction from 1977 to 2020, Small Magic. Decided to read this one. Got The Mother-in-Law by Sally Hepworth. Her writing style is really good. Thin Girls by Diana Clark. Life Undercover, Coming of Age in the CIA by Emerlis Fox. Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. We Begin at the End by Chris Whitaker. One, Two, Three by Lori Frankel. 56 Days by Catherine Ryan Howard. And Unfinished by Priyanka Chopra Jonas. And I also have The Shining by Stephen King out. Alright, and that's the end of this video. I'll be back again tomorrow with the movie review. If y'all have seen or read any of these books, let me know down below and which one I should read first. So, like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your friends. Bye guys.